Hey, how you doing?
Yay! Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just watched that episode with my family, so we had a couple laughs and a good time.
So much fun. Casey Cott, welcome to the Variety After Show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you
excited to
for
be here.
hopping on. Okay, so
Of
you
course.
just watched. Okay, first we have to address the hair
Oh
change.
yes,
Yes, let's talk about
yes.
this.
I think I'm just at the point now where I don't when I see myself in the mirror, I'm not like startled. But so I think like a week and a half ago, I'm quarantined with my family in Philadelphia. So I have a brother and a sister, and my brother's an actor, and my sister works for a charity called Charity Water. So these quarantine nights get a little crazy. You're just kind of sitting here. So one night we kind of just it was like 7:30 at night, and I looked at my brother and said, "Should we shave our heads tonight? We're gonna be here for a while." And then, within 30 minutes, my sister had set up a
Was like, should I shave my
donation
head too?
page. Well, yeah. Well, she said she was like, our first goal was 3,000, then it became 20,000 pretty quickly, which is awesome. We're almost there. And she said if we got 100,000, she would shave her head. And I was like, Carly, you don't want to put that on there because
Wow.
someone will start pitching in some big money. But yeah, so
Yeah.
it's kind of something cool we could all do together, and now it's growing in a little bit, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, and I
It
got
looks
the okay from
good.
Roberto, who created Riverdale. So
Oh,
once he gave me the okay, yeah,
yeah, that's good. Because I was
yeah,
gonna say people are kind of going the opposite direction. You know, the beards are growing in,
right,
the mullets are coming in now. We're kind of at
right,
that stage, but you went
right.
the other way. I like that. You zag where everybody zigs or whatever.
Yeah, I felt like this is the only time I'm gonna be able to shave it all off and just see what it looks like. But I kind of like it. I feel like I have like a new side of me I didn't know existed. So I'm enjoying it.
Speaking of
Yeah,
that, I feel like we got to see a new side of Kevin
yeah,
tonight,
yeah.
who was living his best life. So for you, you just watched the episode. How was it for you?
Oh, it was really fun. You know I haven't been able to sit down and watch an episode live in a really long time.
Mm.
Obviously, because we're usually shooting, um, and it was just really fun to sit with my family and watch it. That might have been one of the first times we've ever sat and watched it live together. Um, but yeah, it just brought back. Obviously, it was a couple months ago. It seems like years ago with the world right now, but it was just really fun. I laughed a lot. I forget how funny Riverdale is.
Yeah.
If you lean into it and realize it's all it's such a strange show, and there's so many styles, and this one in particular was really fun to shoot for me. So yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun.
How did it compare to the past musical episodes that you all have done?
Yeah, so I think with practice we've learned a lot. So I think this year we were able to kind of choreograph everything earlier, record our songs earlier,
Hmm.
um, which made shooting it more fun because it was less of me trying to me. I'm probably the worst dancer of the group, so me trying to remember the choreography and you know all that crazy stuff, and just kind of focus on the shooting. And it was mixed so well this year. Our music guy Leonard's he's a beast. He crushed it. And it's choreographed well, and Antonio, our director, just crushed it. And we would rehearse shots days before we were even shooting it, which for us is
Wow.
very rare because we move along so quickly. So I think that was really nice, and yeah, it was really fun.
You might be the worst dancer, which I don't believe that at all, but you rocked the wig the best. Can I say
I
that?
appreciate that. Yes, I will. I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah,
What was that like stepping into getting into drag? Because
yeah.
that looked intense, but it also looked like you were having the time of your life. I mean, I don't know.
It was
Maybe it was.
both time of my life and intense. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm such a fan of Hedwig the musical. So um, it was a really cool opportunity to work on it, and I feel like you know um, such a different setting than I would approach it if I was doing the musical somewhere. Um, it was so fast and crazy, and I never really had time to sit down and like think too much. But I do know my hair and makeup test was 4 hours, so that was amazing. Just kind of sitting and them trying all these different looks on me. And yeah, drag is incredible. It was very humbling to do drag for the first time. And, drag is a pop culture sensation right now with so many incredible performers, and obviously RuPaul's unbelievable.
Do you watch Drag Race? Did you watch Drag Race?
I've seen a few episodes of Drag Race. Oh yeah.
Are you ready to compete now?
No. I couldn't hold I couldn't tie the shoes of any of those performers. So it was just really cool and really fun. And Stephen Trask, who wrote Hedwig, was there for quite a bit of it, or a portion of it. So it was really nice having him there, and it felt validating having him there for me. And yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
Now, what was your reaction when the first time you saw yourself head to toe in drag, in the makeup, in, the hair? Like, did you have a Buffalo Bill moment where you're like, oh, I look pretty good? Like...
So, well, you know what? I will say, I did have a moment where I was like, oh, like this is pretty sweet. And I remember the first time we shot the main number that I had, that I was in the Hedwig get up, it was a Friday night at midnight. And I remember I was going to the Super Bowl the next morning, and it was just like a crazy evening of my life. But I do remember getting my makeup and hair done, and then putting on the costume. And Riverdale's kind of a cast of head turners. Like, a lot of times when my castmates walk by, they just look incredible. So, your head automatically turns. But I did remember walking in to the soundstage for the first time, and I got quite a few head turns. And everyone was really excited, and the energy was really high. And so it was just really fun, and luckily our hair and makeup team's unbelievable. They, all hats off to them. I had no idea what they were doing, and they just crushed it. So. And
BT Dubs, I'm doing the turquoise eyeshadow.
I see that.
In honor.
Oh yeah.
honor
I love that.
Of Kevin.
Yes. I did like the turquoise eyeshadow. I was into that. I learned how to do a lot of I learned a lot of doing my own makeup too.
Oh, you did?
It would let me, I did my own eyeliner. I did my own. Just little things here and there, like let's say 5%. But I will say I'm very proud of my progress I've learned. So, yeah.
You're very proud of your eyeliner skills.
Very proud. Oh yeah.
I love that. So at this point, you guys have all been together for so many seasons. You have a couple of these under your belt. So when it's musical episode time, like, what's the mood on set? What's the mood before the first table read?
I am always really excited because historically it's kind of been my big episode, or Kevin's big episode. So yeah, I think I'm excited. I think everyone is excited for me. I think some of the cast is a little bit like, curmudgeon-y about it's a lot of extra work. And then the second we all get in there together, we just have a blast, and we just throw down, and it's a huge party. And whenever we're all on set together, it just becomes such a joyful time. And especially with these, you're like, this is just like nuts. What are we doing? And then it turns out to be the most fun we ever have. So it's a progression of madness, but it always ends up being a party on set, which is great.
Tell me a little bit about like the amount of work that goes into this, because I imagine you have to go to the studio and you have to be in rehearsal, and you're learning steps the night before. Like, just how labor intensive is this for you all?
So Riverdale is one of those shows that, we shoot so quickly and so much content. So we do 22 episodes, and we shoot each episode in about 8 days. We usually have a ninth day in there to kind of, make sure we get everything finished that's going along with when the next episode starts. So it's kind of we call it's tandem day. With the musical episode, it usually ends up being about 10 days or 11 days. But prior to shooting anything, like you said, we start choreographing the numbers, because it's really specific with the camera work. And then we have individual recording sessions, which is really fun and tedious and just a blast. and then like for this, obviously, like I said, I had a long hair and makeup test and a few extra costume fittings, and then all of a sudden we get there, and we've done all this prep before we get there, and then all of a sudden it's time to shoot it. And dance numbers take a long time to shoot, just because there's so many different angles, there's so many different setups. You know, the lighting, especially for a show like Riverdale, is so important. I mean, so all those intricacies make it really, really fun if you've done all that work prior, and then you get there and you can just fine tune and work with your camera operators. And we have the best camera operator ever. So, you know, it's always really fun once you get in there and you get to play and have a good time. If you do the work before, we've learned that the hard way. If you do the work before, once you get in there, you're gonna have a good time.
Oh, right. If you put in the hours,
Exactly.
it sounds like. I didn't get a close shot of I didn't get a close look at your shoes though in the getup. Were you wearing platforms? Like, what was the deal? I was kind of paying
pumps.
Attention to like this part, but like.
Right. Huge pumps, but they were very forgiving. They were, I will say, they did their job, because they looked impossible to be in, and yet they were super comfortable. So I got really lucky there. I was worried about that. Everyone was worried about that. Even the girls? The girls were not. They were like, thank God he has to do this now, because they're always you know, all the guys are like, why do you keep taking your shoes off?
Yeah.
So when I got those on, they were excited to see me squeal. But luckily, like I said, they were forgiving, and it was fun.
Next time, stilettos
yes.
For all of you.
Yes, they were, and my boots were custom made too, which is really cool. And my costume was. And actually, I wore the wig that John Cameron Mitchell wore in the film Hedwig, like his actual wig, which was really cool.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, I was kind of nerding out over that. I thought that was pretty sweet.
That's amazing. How did you guys like get that going? How did you secure that?
The head of our hair department, gal named Victoria, just one day she was like, yeah, I got the wig from the movie. And I was like, how did you get that? And she said she knew someone, and that was that. You know, it was really cool.
That's really cool. So you really got the genuine Hedwig vibes then.
Yeah, I was like, there's a lot of sweat probably gone into this wig right now. But it was cool. There's little things like that I just think are so cool, like historic. You get to wear something historic like that, or you know, I really respect John Cameron Mitchell, so it was cool to wear the same wig that he was wearing.
Did you have a favorite number that you got to do?
Yeah, you know, it was fun. Tonight was the first time I've sat down and watched the whole finished episode, which was really cool. I really liked. There's something really cool about Wicked Little Town, which is the first song of the episode, when everyone is kind of singing a piece of it. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. It's like, it just fits with Riverdale really well. And it was fun seeing every single character sing a line. So I really like that. Tearing Me Down was really fun. And the cast was really cool and supportive. And then the finale was really fun with this all. We all sing on top of pops, and everyone has these candles, and like it's just in typical Riverdale fashion, this crazy awesome and also kind of a moving song, because we're all together whenever the whole cast is on set together. And I mean from the kids or the adults, and you know, Alvin, who plays Pop, and it just everyone is there. It's just really it's always a special moment, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have to say, Kevin had this line that I know you guys shot this way before we're all self-isolating and socially distancing, but he talks about the generation that keeps getting beat down. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't help but kind of think about that for a second. I mean, I know they're Gen Z, but I think a lot of millennials can also identify with that. And now we're dealing with this pandemic. It seemed particularly resonant. Right. Even though you guys didn't mean for it to be that way.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's so funny how movies and television and songs, and like, have you listened to any songs during this time while you've been quarantined? You're like, that song rings different. Like every Adele song all of a sudden has 15 meanings, or you know, it's really beautiful how art kind of changes with life. But before watching this episode tonight, I was super excited for it to be during this time, because it's something refreshing and something that totally translates to what's happening right now. And then on top of that, the end is everyone outside together, you know, the whole town comes together, and I'm excited for that moment to happen. I think everyone's excited for whenever that will be, hopefully sooner rather than later, for everyone to be together somewhere, you know, singing a song or doing something, which would be cool.
And I know you guys were actually production was actually directly impacted by
Yeah,
this pandemic. Yeah, how was
right. So we had a part of our production who had come into contact with someone very early on, before anything had really shut down. I think things were maybe going to shut down. And I actually think Riverdale was one of the first shows to shut down, because we knew someone had come into contact, and we were all on set together, and it's, you know, all of a sudden everyone could be exposed to it. So we had this moment. I think I didn't. I was just sitting at home waiting for info. But I think production had a moment where you just have to stop. So all of a sudden we stopped, and we had 2 episodes left. And very luckily and thankfully, everyone tested negative at that time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's really strange to think we had 2 episodes left. We were supposed to finish last week, and you know, I'm not sure the plan moving forward, but I'm sure we'll finish them at some point, hopefully soon.
Okay, so is the season finale not going to be the season finale that you all had envisioned, or have you gotten any updates about like what the rest of the season is going to look like?
I don't quite know. I think and by we I mean the people that are way above me are still figuring it out and kind of playing it by ear to see. It's our last year of high school in Riverdale, so I think there has to be an episode at some point commemorating the end of high school. So I think we were going to get there, and I think we'll get there as soon as we can.
Got it. Mm-hmm. How have you been keeping in touch with all of your castmates, or have you been keeping in touch?
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of FaceTime. Especially those that are quarantined, you know, more so alone. It's kind of fun to see everybody. I wish it was under different pretenses, obviously, but it's fun to keep up with people, and it's been really nice to talk to them outside of work and work-related things. I think, obviously, a lot of times we're together for work, and then work-related events or you know, parties, or you know, one of their crazy movie premieres or something like that. So it's been nice to just call and check in and see how they're doing, and vice versa. Everybody's doing good, and I got a lot of love today from them, which was really nice. And you know, I miss them. I miss hanging out with them. So I'm excited to see them again soon, and I'm thankful for FaceTime right now. I mean, yeah. Could you imagine? Like it's any given moment, I just press a button and their face pops up. So it's really nice to have that.
I couldn't imagine doing this without internet.
Oh, I know. It's
mind,
but it wasn't that long ago. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that it didn't exist, which is just mind-boggling. But yeah, very thankful for the little things right now. I feel like everybody is, which is cool.
I don't want to start anything, but who do you miss the most?
Oh man, I miss them all.
All equally? Who do you FaceTime? Who do you FaceTime with the most?
I FaceTime with Cole the most. We FaceTime the most, but he's at his house and he's at a house in LA. Alone mostly. So, or not mostly, alone. So I feel like I FaceTime with him quite a bit. I've talked with Lily quite a bit. I've talked to Mark quite a bit, and KJ, and I was just texting Camila before this. Mads I really have touched base at least with almost every single person in our cast. Talked to Skeet. Texting Marisol today, so we really do keep in touch. We're a crazy crew. We are a crazy crew.
You're a
Charles, I was FaceTime with Charles today. Yeah. So,
who was also a standout in that wig, by the way.
Unbelievable. Charles could have one line in any per episode, and it would be the best line of the episode every single time. You know what? Charles actually had an incredible moment that didn't make it into the cut, just because.
Oh, really?
Also the musical episodes always go. You know, they're long, and you have to cut them up a bit, as with every episode of every television show. But before the grand finale, the scene started with Charles playing a violin solo, and it was so hysterical. So shout out to Charles Melton for that, and I'm sure it'll be in some cut someday.
We'll have to find that in the blooper reel or
Exactly.
like on the DVD or something,
Exactly.
the DVD
Yeah.
extras. I'm
Yeah.
going to open it up to actually a couple fan questions. So if people want to put a couple questions that you have for Casey in the comments. I was asking people what they were binging earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like that question.
Yeah, what have you been binging actually?
Well, Ozark season 3 was my first thing, which was so unbelievable.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that show is incredible. Just Jason Bateman and Lauren Lenny are unreal. I did watch Tiger King.
Okay, we will have to talk about that at the end once we get through some. So if you guys have any, okay, so here's a great one. What was the hardest scene to shoot?
The hardest scene to shoot was probably the Wig in a Box number, because there was it kind of takes place on 3 or 4 different sets, and then I had 3 or 4 different glam looks, we called them. So that kind of, every time you cut to that, we actually shot it on different days, because all of a sudden you know, cut to me in a full hair and makeup. And takes 2 hours to get into that. So
yeah.
So that was probably the most complicated.
Let's see. Your favorite song to listen to at the moment, since this was a musical episode. I think that's actually a great question.
My favorite song to listen to right now. I'm getting into like a weird country phase right now. I've been listening to a lot of Casey Musgraves recently. Slow Burn is a pretty great number.
That's great. That's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Someone is asking some personal question.
I think my brother's in here right now.
Oh, is he really?
Who is better at push-ups, you or your brother? That's me. He's infiltrated this. Typical brothers.
Someone said when Barchi kissed, they cried.
Yeah, a lot of Barchi haters out there. But it's a TV show. You got to get over it.
Okay, great questions, guys. Okay, so I have a couple more for you that we've been asking everybody who's been self-isolating. So you talked about what you were binging. So you watched Ozark and you watched Tiger King. Okay, so you watched the whole thing. Did you watch the follow-up episode as well?
So with reality television, I tend to read the episodes before I watch them, and then sometimes I don't watch them because I just think it's so fascinating what's happening. So I didn't watch the follow up, but I read it. I read everything that happens in it. Okay. Which I'm kind of glad they did that, because it did seal up any questions about. It seems like everyone kind of doesn't like Joe. So. Seemed that, not that they don't like him, but they've seen his sentence is justified. So I do feel a bit of, you know, what's the word? I feel
kind of settled about it.
Fulfilled.
Yeah, fulfilled. There you go.
That follow up is there. And the guys, I loved seeing the guy's new teeth. That was awesome. That was incredible.
Plot twist. I think
Huge
that was
plot twist.
Right?
Yeah, guy looked incredible. Great teeth.
You think Carol Baskin did it? You think she?
Like, I don't know. A part of me is like, man, like, everyone on the internet is saying this woman killed her husband, and she's still alive. Like, she can read these comments. So I don't know what I think about it. I think it's definitely a little weird. Like, what happened to this person? He just disappeared. And then some of the actions from the documentary would definitely push me to think that she did. But, you know, what do I know? I'm just watching. I mean, so that's like my very politically correct way of saying I absolutely think she did.
IDK.
I think
we don't know. Yeah, okay. Oh, all right.
I don't know. I think so.
What are you looking forward to the most after this is all over?
That's a great question. And something that my family was talking about yesterday, I think. I'm very social. Like, I love hanging out with people. So I think just like a night of like going out to dinner and just having that dinner last 4 or 5 hours and just chatting with a big group of friends for a long time. I'm excited for that. Something very simple. And then I'm really missing sports. I'm very excited for sports to come back. I mean, since I've been alive, there's never been a time where everything just shut down like this. So I'm excited for that to come back. And, you know, I just, there's gonna be an ease about all these small businesses opening again, and you know, being able to go to your mom and pop restaurant down the road, or all that stuff is gonna be. I'm excited for that all to happen.
And you don't know when you're going to return back to work again, right?
I don't. Yeah, you know, it's complicated because there's so many people on a film set, so you know, we don't know. Obviously, hoping for the best, and yeah, I just putting all the good vibes out there, hoping that it'll all open up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin's a character that a lot of people, I think, find special and really, you know, identify with, like resonate with. You know, what do you hear from fans about Kevin and how they've impacted their lives?
I think people tend to like Kevin because he's a pretty likable character. I think, or at least most of the time when I play Kevin, I try to make him as likable as possible because it seems like everyone just kind of likes him. Like, he's just a nice guy who kind of keeps finding himself in situations that are like, why is Kevin in that situation? Shouldn't these other characters who are making every mistake in the book be in that situation? So I think Kevin's positive outlook is something that people tend to enjoy. His blind loyalty, which can end up with him in a cult, but still it's a good attribute to have. I think they enjoy that. And then yeah, just his loving optimism, hoping he'll find somebody, or, you know, I think we'll leave it at that. The blind optimism, the loyalty, and the just the joy he has.
How would you like to see him grow? Because, like you mentioned, this is their last year of high school.
Right.
Everyone's going to be maturing.
Right.
Where do you want to see him go?
Yeah, I don't know. I really like to see just a lot more colors of Kevin. I think while those attributes he has are super awesome, I'd love to see all the other sides of that. You know, usually people are blindly optimistic until something really negative happens, and then it opens up their world to this whole other possibility of things, especially when you're in high school. You know, once you get out of high school, the world becomes a whole new place. For some people, for me it did. So kind of just going through those situations that change your outlook, or maybe, you know, I don't know what we're going to do with Riverdale next year. So I'm sure whatever it'll be much more dramatic, and we'll see a totally new Kevin, which could be really cool.
That could be really cool. Before I let you go, what's your go-to vocal warm-up? I'm a former choir kid, so I know there's there's a couple of them. I did Bumblebee a lot when I was
Bumblebee.
Yeah, you know what that one is.
We do. My voice teacher does one that's pa naga, pa naga, pa, and it like places it in your mouth, and the ga gives you a gasp, and the pa gives you your breath, and then puts it in your face. That's probably my favorite one.
Pa.
Okay. Pa. Or we do this thing where we go. You like breathe in on a ka, like, and it gives you more air. Yeah, so I'm very nerdy when it comes to vocal things.
You could do ASMR with that.
Right. I think that's going to be what I start doing during while I'm quarantined, ASMR.
I think that's a good. I mean, you could build.
Those were big for a minute.
Aren't they still big? I watch. Sometimes I watch those, or I listen to those.
I'm one of those people who really hates hearing people chew, so I try to turn those off. But like, I like certain things, like opening the wrappers. I like that sound.
Yeah. I like soap cutting videos. You should check those out. Yeah.
I'll get into that. Yeah. Thanks for the rec. I'll check that out.
Casey, thank you so much for being on the after show. Are you wearing pants, by the way? Because I'm not.
I got a light wash jean on. Don't worry.
You're wearing, that's serious. That's serious.
I know. I got dressed up for this, right? I even did my hair.
It looks good. The
Thank
episode
you.
was so much fun to watch.
Thank you.
Really nice to see Kevin living full out like that, just
Thank you.
having a ball. And I know it sounds like it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun to watch. So
Yeah, it was really fun.
wonderful. Casey,
Thank
thank
you so
you
much.
so much, and
Thank you.
stay safe and healthy.
You too. You too. We'll talk soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, guys.